Hi everyone, it's Patty Behan, and thank you for tuning in today. In this video, we're going to learn how to paint roses with Perfect Pearls to make this beautiful Mother's Day card. We'll be using Perfect Pearls, Archival Ink, Letter-It stamp sets, and Ranger artist brushes. We're going to start off by practicing how to make the roses, and then I'll show you how to make the card, so stick around. We'll be using Holtz Distress Watercolor Cardstock, and one side is smooth and one side is rough, and we'll be using the smooth side. And we have Perfect Pearls in Pink Gumball and Zinnia, and to open the jar you're going to tap it on the table so the powder falls to the bottom, and then take off the lid. And we're going to make paint out of the Perfect Pearls, and we're going to use the lid as our palette. So I'm using a number 6 artist brush to make the roses, and the first thing we want to do is make our paint. So we add a little bit of water into the jar lid, and then we'll dip our brush to grab some of those pearls and mix it up until the granules are all dissolved. And you keep mixing it up, add more water and add more pearls until you get the right consistency, and then we're going to begin to paint. So I'm zooming in closer here so you can see better. You're going to use the tip of the brush to make a backwards comma, and then you're going to interlock another comma, and that's the middle of your flower. And then you're just going to continue to go around alternating your commas and use the belly of the brush now as you go to the outer edges of the flower. And you don't have to go and make a perfect circle, but you do want to make a sort of a round shape like a flower. And it may not look like anything until we're done, so just be patient and keep practicing. And you're just going to keep filling in until you're satisfied with the size, and you'll notice there's some blank spots, so we're going to go in and make little strokes in between those spaces. And then you can go back and add more color if it's getting too light, and I think that looks good. We'll add a little bit more color over here and here. Okay, and now see how beautiful that is, and you can't really tell how much it shimmers, but once it dries it's really pretty. So now I'm just going to fill the whole page up, and I want you to do the same thing and just practice, and then leave a little space in between the flowers, and at the end I'm going to show you what we can do with this practice page. And don't worry, just have fun with it and keep going until all the page is full. I'm just going to add a few more flowers in here, and then after that we're going to make some leaves with the Zinnia Perfect Pearls. Just a couple more to go, and I'll get in closer. So you put the tip of your brush down and then drag the belly to make your leaf shape. Tip, belly, lift up. Tip, belly, lift up. And you can go back and forth until you get the desired shape. And you don't want to make your brush too wet. Those two leaves were a little wet, but I'm going to continue on and add the leaves in the blank spaces, and I want you to do the same. And then once you fill in all the blank spaces, we're going to set it aside to dry. I put some leaf sprigs just in random spots as well. Okay, that looks good. And now let's make our card. Now that we had practice, we're going to use the Letter-It stamp set. We're going to use Mom, Love, and You, and stamp it in black archival ink. First we'll stamp the love, and I'm using watercolor cardstock again. I cut it to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and we'll stamp the love. Then You, we're going to go underneath and a little bit at a diagonal, and then Mom, and then go ahead and stamp that down. And now we're going to let this dry with the heat tool because we're going to paint over it. Alright, so let's go get our colors again, and we'll start to make our roses just the same as before. Make 2 commas and then just go around alternating in the empty spots until you get the desired shape and size that you like. Okay, I think that looks good. Let's go down in this corner over here, same thing, and just be free and loose. Don't think about the outcome. And you can, as you can see, paint right over the ink. It sort of resists the Perfect Pearls a bit, so it gives it a nice organic look. And we'll do one more in the corner over here, and keep doing the same thing until you like the shape. And now we're going to add our leaves. We're going to do this the same way. Make sure we get our paint here all mixed up. Okay, let's start at the bottom here, and we're just going to do the same thing, fill in the blank spaces, and we want this leaf to look like it's going behind, so we'll stop when we get to the other flower, and we'll make a little stem on this leaf, and this is coming out really good. I really love how this looks. And we'll just make a little leaf sprig over here in the corner, and how about down at the bottom again? That looks good. It's nice to have things like going off the page, and again, you can go right over that ink and it looks beautiful. Now we're going to add some splatters. Make sure you get your paint nice and juicy and your brush nice and wet, and you just tap the paint over the top of the card to get little sprinkles. Okay, and look how beautiful that is. We're going to let that dry, and now we're going to make our card. So we're just going to use a top folding card, a regular A2 card size, 5.5 by 4 1/4, and we'll put your favorite adhesive on that top of the card front there, and then just adhere it, and then you're done. You have this beautiful card that you can give to your mom on Mother's Day or for her birthday, or change the sentiment and just give it for any occasion. So now I'm going to show you what I did with our practice page. I simply cut the whole page into quarters, and now I have these beautiful backgrounds that I can use for other cards. Just add a sentiment, put it on top of a card, and you're all set. So beautiful, and I love the shimmer that the Perfect Pearls gives us. So if you'd like to give this a try, there is a link to the full supply list in the description box below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more crafty videos.